Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Deontay Wilder, I got to talk to y'all about him. Little Birdie came out there and said the way to beat Usyk is with speed. And it made me wonder, man, does Wilder have the kind of speed where he can get in there and clip Usyk? You know, I don't know. But there's a lot going on in boxing, so let me give you guys the rundown, all right? Now, first of all, I just want to say this. Jai Opetaia been on my radar. David Benavidez been on my radar. But this guy, Badou Jack. Badou Jack's career deserves a whole lot of respect, okay? Up at cruiserweight. A true global boxing, I would call him a boxing globetrotter. He's fought all over the world. He's a multi-division champion. And honestly, one of the sport's most consistent professionals for over a decade. However, boxing's unforgiving at times, and at 42 years old, Badou Jack is well beyond his prime. Physically, to think he's going to be able to compete with the elite cruiserweights is it's just being a bit delusional, right? Badou Jack is a tough guy. I don't know if you guys saw the fight where he fought and he ended up getting a gash in the middle of his forehead. I think he was fighting Marcus Brown. It's actually quite frightening to see a fighter with that kind of gash and push through it and just keep going and look like he was going to get a win. But that fight is where you talk about a secret society being in full effect. They should have stopped that fight, but they didn't. Anyway, the fight went the distance. He lost, but that gash was bad. Very, very bad. But just to think he's in there put him in there with a guy like a young, strong, explosive fighter like a Jai Opetaia, David Benavidez, even Zurdo Ramirez. But I think he can get Zurdo. But Zurdo can fight. But the problem is this, right? I think for some fans, the problem fans have isn't that Jack can't still win fights. For me, anyway, is can he really win the fights that matter? And I don't think he can. There's a new generation out there, high output, heavy pressure. They're young, they're durable, they're powerful as hell, they're explosive as hell, and they have that killer instinct and hunger. And when you talk about that level of physicality, I just don't think the experience of Badou Jack is enough to get him a victory and enough for him to hold on to that WBC belt if he were to fight one of those guys. Now, when you listen to Badou Jack, he's going to tell you that he wants to become undisputed champion at cruiserweight, and that sounds admirable, okay? How about this, Badou Jack? Enough respect, my boy, but look. All that shit sounds good, but even you know you ain't beating those guys. All right? You're 42, and I'm not saying when you're old, that means that you're cold. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying at your age, the experience and IQ is not going to be enough to help you run all night from Benavidez, run all night from Opetaia. And even Zurdo, I got to say, I just think Zurdo being a younger guy, still being a big, strong guy, I just think that's too much, man. I just think it's unrealistic to see Badou Jack become undisputed at cruiserweight. There's no way. In order for him to do that, he's got to fight multiple young bulls, all right? So, hungry champions back-to-back. I just don't think that's something almost any 42-year-old fighter in a weight class full of big punchers can do. And if there was someone trying to do it, I don't think they've done it successfully. Anyway, Badou Jack is stalling the damn division. He's delaying the fights everybody wants to see because he has that damn WBC strap. But in short, Badou Jack's legacy is secure. I'm going to say that again, but the belt may never be served in motion. Instead, he's going to remain on pause because he's out here, man, holding the damn belt hostage. Now, some may be saying, man, you're a hater. Badou Jack can still win. Yeah, but against who? You know what I'm saying? He's defensively sound. I'll give him that. Mentally, he seems sharp. He is a disciplined guy. But against mid-tier contenders, he could absolutely grind out decisions, okay? I'm not telling you he can't get wins. But listen to what I'm saying. Words matter, McNicholas. It's against who? Get his ass in there with Opetaia. We gonna see. Benavidez, shit. Them guys don't fight at a pace that allow aging champions to settle. Those guys are in there, green light, go. All gas, no brakes. And they are trying to destroy you. Benavidez is breaking faces. Jai is breaking necks. How Badou Jack gonna get in there and handle that? Hey, yo, hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. Badou Jack, man, I don't want to see nothing to happen to him. Take his ass home somewhere, make him some goddamn chicken noodle soup, and just quit taking it to the stupid, talking about you're gonna fight for undisputed. Your ass ain't thinking about undisputed, or you would have been trying to unify. You just want to keep getting that chit-chit-ching, Wu-Tang cream, dollar bill, you're out here. You should call him Badou Papoose Jack, because he just count the green. That's all he doing. Don't get me wrong. Nobody's saying he doesn't have heart. I'm not saying he doesn't have skill. I'm not saying there was a time where he may have been really competitive with these guys. I'm just saying right now, Father Time is undefeated, and Badou Jack needs to take his ass back wherever the hell he is and just go ahead and chill. Make that chicken noodle soup, become a pop, and let these young boys come out here and run the cruiserweight division. Now, that being said, questioning biology, right? I'm not sitting here to question anybody's heart or skill, but I am here questioning the biology. Speaking of that, you got to question the biology of a guy like Deontay Wilder to understand what the hell this man is made of. The fact that he's out here looking like that fight between he and Usyk is all go. So the fact that they've got the green light, the negotiation talk they're talking about, that's just to sit here, man, and tie up our brains. That shit's going to happen. But some people are saying when it comes to Deontay Wilder and Usyk, hey, yo, hold your horses. Stop taking it to the stupid. Deontay Wilder stands no chance. And even I'm going to say, I like Wilder. I will always root for Wilder. But I just got to be honest, I don't think he beats Usyk. Doesn't mean I'm not rooting for him. And I'm not rooting for him because he's black. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm rooting for him because of why he came into the sport of boxing for his daughter. She's a big girl now. The same way Luis Ortiz fight, I will always root for him. Even if I know he ain't going to win, I'm going to root for him. You know why? Same situation. Those stories touch me, man. You know what I mean? I ain't like some of these guys on YouTube, man. I'm human. I have 4 sons. So when I get to learn these guys' story, I'm going to call it like I see it as far as the fight goes, but I'll still tell you, I hope he wins. And I hope Deontay Wilder wins. I do. Usyk is a family man too, but I just hope Wilder wins. But I don't think he does, you know what I'm saying? But there's some people who are saying, hey, yo, hood champion, easy. Take it easy. They're like, you don't know what you're talking about. You must have had yourself a bowl of dumbass for breakfast because you taking it to the stupid. I'm like, easy, McNicholas, what I do? They're like, shit, y'all forgetting about Wilder's speed and Wilder's reach. I'm like, okay, what about it? It's like, yeah, that could shock the world. And this isn't fantasy. I said, okay. They said that's the only path to victory he has, though. I'm like, okay, does speed matter? Hell yeah. Reach matter? Yeah. Has Usyk fought anybody with reach? Yes. With freakish speed like Wilder? I don't know. I don't know if he's fought anybody with that quick 1-2 speed, but Wilder isn't out there letting his hands go like that no more, people. Wilder's speed is dangerous early, right? I'm just going to be real. His straight right hand, although he ain't really taking the weapon off safety and putting it on full blast anymore, it's still one of the fastest and most destructive punches probably ever seen in boxing, especially thrown by a heavyweight, you know what I mean? Against Usyk, that speed could create chaos, especially the first 4 to 5 rounds, if Wilder is able to not get caught up in the Usyk matrix, and if Usyk is still gathering data those 4 and 5 rounds. But I just think when Wilder, if he's going to hesitate, which I think he will, that's going to give Usyk opportunities for sharp counters, and then Wilder's going to probably panic and become anxious and either totally freeze, and Usyk, you're going to have a stationary target where he's going to hit him with the Usyk bing-bings, or Wilder's going to get anxious and let his hands go, and Usyk is going to sit there, man, and time him, and he's going to sit there, man, and start to counterpunch him because Usyk thrives on opponents who overcommit. The bottom line is, I'm trying to see how Wilder can win this fight, but his speed often comes with poor balance, wide swings, predictable setups, his chin straight up in the air, and that's where speed becomes a liability. And a guy like Usyk, he doesn't need to avoid punches forever, you know what I'm saying? He just needs Wilder to miss one and be out of position, and Usyk is going to be on his ass, just like Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy had a young boy at a goddamn Diddy party and shit. But that's neither here nor there. In this matchup, Wilder's speed is a threat early. His speed becomes a problem late. Usyk's footwork, timing, angles, punish, explosive fighters. But the thing is, Usyk, he has more than everything it takes to get at him, man. And a linear attacker like Wilder to just totally dismantle him, man. You know what I mean? So anyway, but Wilder shocked the world. I mean, only if he lands the shot clean, it has to be right on the button, has to be early. If not, I think Usyk just starts to just dismantle him, chip away at him, and then he's gonna knock him out cold. And I don't wish that for Wilder, but I'm really trying to see how Wilder can win. And for anyone out there saying, "Oh, I'm gonna save this. I'm coming back to this," don't come back. I don't want to see you. I don't want to hear from you, because there's no one out here. There's no soothsayers out here with the crystal ball and shit. It's just a conversation. How about this, McNicholas? Why don't you say, all right, give your prediction and say what Wilder's going to do to win and why? I'm sitting here explaining. Every time I do a video, I explain why I think somebody's going to win, the other person's going to lose. And, you know, I'm like a 90% success rate, but sometimes you don't get it right. Who gives a shit? Nobody knows anyway. But another thing nobody knows is what's really going to happen with Tim Tszyu and Nikita Tszyu. The Aussie. Oi, brothers. Casa Tszyu's sons. How far can those guys go? Tim Tszyu went quite a distance. Ran into a little bit of turbulence, man, but he's back. He's already proven to be a world-level fighter. His setbacks didn't erase his skill set. I think it kind of exposed some limitations that can be corrected. And he's working under Pedro Diaz. So Tim has a real chance to evolve, man. You know, Diaz emphasizes a lot of different things. Remember, he worked with Miguel Cotto. He worked with quite a few fighters. He's all about distance management, smarter pressure, defensive responsibility. Let me just tell you this. Tim Tszyu is already a problem. But if Tim absorbs those lessons, he can rebound into another world title run, which I think he will. He still has elite body punching, mental toughness, and championship experience. Now, his brother Nikita, he's still a work in progress, but Nikita's the one y'all need to be paying attention to. Nikita Tszyu is a problem. He's explosive, he's aggressive, he's entertaining, but he's still, you know, not yet refined. As far as his ceiling, I think it depends on his patience. I think his ceiling right now is limited because he has no patience. You want to see somebody get in there and scrap, a Ruslan Providnikov or Ricardo Mayorga type fighter, that's Nikita Tszyu. But if he can avoid rush matchmaking and focus more on fundamentals, he can carve out a strong career. I mean, not necessarily at Tim's level, but his fights will be more exciting than his brother's, I'll tell you that much. So more to come from Tim Tszyu and his brother. I know Tim is fighting soon. And I don't know what's going on with Nikita. He's probably fighting Tim's undercard. But then this weekend, you got Diego Pacheco. 6'4", tall fighter, fighting Kevin Sajo, smaller fighter. Both of these guys got knockout potential. I think Diego Pacheco has a major physical advantage, height, reach, leverage. The issue is stylistic discipline. If Diego Pacheco is still in there trying to fight small and fighting unnecessary danger, especially against a guy like Kevin Sajo who can crack, he may fuck around and lose. You know what? I'm just being honest with you. Now, the smart play for Pacheco, stay tall, use the jab, control the range, break Sajo down, and just avoid being that goddamn Sebastian Fundora trying to fight like Isaac Pitbull Cruz when you're 6'6". Nah, man, going toe-to-toe. Look, it pleases the fans. You know, there you go. Atta boy, good job. You get the gold star. You went toe-to-toe and got your ass knocked out. You going toe-to-toe just increases the risk, man, without increasing the reward. You Manny Pacquiao now? The elite level demands efficiency, not crowd-pleasing recklessness. You better listen to what Bill Haney said. Do the Devin Haney. Do the Devin Haney. You better keep that shit simple. If Pacheco wants longevity and tolerance, you must fight like the bigger man. And sometimes you will go toe-to-toe, but for the most part, fight smart. Look at them Klitschko's. Them boys, man, The boys can crack, though, man. They keep you out the end of that jab and blind you with that jab, come with the right hand, clinch you, throw a hook, clinch you. They did whatever they had to do to win. That Vitaly was a monster. Vladimir was a monster too, but Vitaly was a fool, boy. A fool in that ring. But anyway, we'll see what happens with David Pacheco. I hope he fights tall, fights smart, and gets the win. Now, speaking of guys fighting tall and smart, a fight that is just way beyond the expiration date, but you're going to get it is what it looks like anyways. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury in 2026. Does anybody care to see these two fight? Look, so much has happened to these guys, Deontay Wilder, when they were all undefeated. They should have had Wilder and AJ fight like 2-3 times, and then whoever won those battles or won 2 out of 3, go fight Tyson Fury. Like they should have been just, back to back to back to back, had a little 4-year stretch of those guys just fighting nothing but each other, seeing people win, people lose, and see who came out on top. They didn't do it. But anyway, now it looks like you're going to get it, there was a time when that was the biggest fight in boxing history. Could have probably been AJ and Tyson Fury, at least in Britain, but maybe in boxing at a time. I think Wilder and AJ would have been the fight when they were both undefeated. But when you look now, fans are divided. They're like, man, we really don't want to see this crap. They're like, they both taking decisive losses, showing physical decline, missed the peak window. Would the fight sell? Hell yeah, to sell. I'm not crazy. The fight would sell, but it's no longer about supremacy. It's about legacy money. It's about closure. It's about that, really about that last Wu-Tang cream, cha-ching, ching, dollar bill y'all payday. But the hardcore fans, we don't give a shit. We're going to watch it, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to complain. Casual fans may tune in because it's more of a spectacle, but it's not a statement, and we all know that. We don't think if Fury wins, he goes on again to become a champion. If AJ wins, no, it's just they have each other, and they're just taking advantage of the opportunities to fight and make big money. So why not? Wilder's about to fight Usyk. Even if he loses to Usyk, I bet you Wilder and AJ will fight next. Because they're just out here getting their last bit of money before they sail off into the sunset. Talk about two bozos who was trying to get as much money they could so they could possibly sail off. Keyshawn Davis and Richardson Hitchens. Seeing them two in each other's face with their bad breath, man, going back and forth. They could have been fighting on the January 31st undercard of Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson up there in New York City. But damn it, Keyshawn wanted $2 million. He didn't even make $1 million yet. He was supposed to make $1 million for De Los Santos. He came in to fight overweight, then got mad because his brother got touched up. Then him and his brother tried to jump the guy. So he missed out on the $1 million payday. How you going to come back after the bullshit from out there in Norfolk, Virginia, and come back and think you're going to get $2 million? Then Richardson Hitchens, he out here trying to get 2.5. Who the hell going to put $5 million up to see them two fight? But that's their perspective. That's what they feel they'll value. That's what they wanted, man, And they believe in their value, but promoters, they don't deal with what you believe in. They deal with reality. They ain't coming out here to lose no money. But anyway, neither fighter has proven pay-per-view draws. They haven't headlined major cards, and they don't have crossover appeal yet. So promoters aren't wrong for saying earn it first. Fighters aren't wrong for wanting to be paid. This is boxing's eternal tension. The reality is both men need signature wins, not salary standoffs. But another reality is if those two got in the ring, a lot of people would be tuning in to see that fight. That's a really good fight. But again, they don't have that crossover appeal. Their profiles aren't where they need them to be to come out here and demand that kind of dough. They just figure because turkey's in the house every day, it's Thanksgiving, they can get some of that Wu-Tang cream, ching, ching. Nah, they shut that shit down. Now, Hitchens is fighting Jermaine Ortiz for $700,000. And I don't know what Keyshawn's going to do, but sure he'll be back, in a scrap. Anyway, man, the bottom line is this moment in boxing reflects a broader truth when it comes to the sport's transitioning. Older champions are being challenged by new blood. Money, time, and ego matter as much as skill. And fans want belts in motion, prime versus prime matchups. And fighters willing to risk everything, not protect what's already passed. Bottom line is, stop. The bottom line is hold your horse and stop taking it to the stupid. Get in there and mix it up. Y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans on 7 continents. Yo, I'm in the breeze.